You are down with.
Yo, Dave.
What up?
Drop the beat.
We like it old school.
Tuesday night.
What you listening to?
The brothers from the 818.
91331.
Pacoima, California.
What's up, Dave?
What's up, Caleb? Real and relevant conversation.
No script.
We invite you into our conversation.
What's going on, people?
You are down with.
The brothers from the 818.
What's going on, people? What's going on? You know what time it is. It is time for the brothers from the 818. My name is Dave, as you know, and I'm here every week, as you know, with my man 50 Grand. What's going on with you, Caleb? Holla at me.
Doing well, Dave, man. I'm doing well. 91331.
3-1. That's what's up. That's what's up. Hailing out the 818, Pacoima, California. Y'all know how we roll. We are excited to be back with you guys for another exciting episode of the Brothers from the 818. Lots going on in the world, lots going on in our small segment of the world, lots going on the podcast. So we're going to jump right into it. Holla at me, Caleb. What's going on? Check in for me.
Well, oh man, it's been a crazy week, man. It's been a crazy week. Got a new president, got a new vice president. You know, Congress looking different, but the politics remain the same, man. The politics remain the same. It's so interesting because you can't get away from it. Red goes with red, blue goes with blue. And I really do feel like we need to have a 3-party, 4-party system. Let me think about my check-in, man. The week has been good. I have some plans for this weekend. I plan to actually get out of town. Get out of town, Jack. I plan on getting out of town and just doing something different, man. Seeing some different scenery or something. What's going on with you, Dave?
We're not going there yet. You're going out of town. You're getting out of town with the missus and the kids. You bailing on everybody. What you doing? You grabbing your go bag and bailing? What's happening? You can't tell me where you going, but you know, what's
right.
up?
Emptying the bank accounts, man. Grabbing my guns, going into the mountains, man. Off the grid.
Hey,
No. We're going up to celebrate. We're celebrating a birthday this weekend.
Okay.
So we're gonna get out and go up to the mountains and see some snow and hang out in a small group. One other family.
That's what's up. I got another snow trip planned for myself, either the 7th or the 20th. So definitely not Valentine's Day weekend, but the weekend before or the weekend after. I'm gonna be doing that. But you know, check-in wise, about the same, man. It's a busy week. They're all busy, and it's just a new year. I like how you said that, man. We got, you know, a new president, new administration, but the politics are the same. You know why the politics are the same? Because it's called politics, right? And it's the games we play and the stories we tell and the promises we make. And I'm using we in the American sense, right? Has nothing to do with you or I, but you know, in politics, you got to say what you got to say to get to where you want to go. And even, you know, we've seen some people lie straight up, but even in your best effort, your best guess, you know, what you say is going to happen and what actually happens can be drastically different depending upon what's going on. So yeah, politics are the same. I will say, you know, we'll save that for a minute, but yeah, it's been a good week, man. I'm looking, I got my whip back. I've been whipless for a little while. And I got that back last week. So
how was public transportation? No,
it ain't that bad. I got a secondary whip. Don't get it twisted. But yeah, it was gone for a little while, but it's back and running great and everything's looking good. And so getting reacquainted with the whip is always a good thing. So that was kind of my highlight of the week. And again, my oldest, your godson, he's back. So having all three of my boys in the house is just loud, testosterone-ish, and always fun, man. We be blasting each other up in here.
Man, you ain't gonna do that, man. You ain't gonna do that and not talk about. You got your whip back. What about the other whip that showed up? Your oldest, Christopher, got a whip. Come on, man. Talk about that process.
Let me pump him up a little bit. So he got back in town and decided that Dad, it's time for me to buy a car. And I was like, okay. And so he got in town. We got his bank account situated. He had a bank account before, but I got him hooked up at the credit union. That night he went online, found him a whip. The next day we went, bought a whip. And what was your first car, man?
My first car was a Toyota Tercel. That would have been like an 89 Tercel, man. It was a small thing, man. It was white. I loved it.
Right. And you drove it like it was expensive and all that. But, it had a radio.
I drove it like it was a race car, man. I was driving it with like a race car. And I was probably on some 8s or some 10s, and I was hitting corners, man. That's what you do.
Clean, though. You kept them clean. I remember this one time we was bumper to bumper on the 405, but we're gonna save that for another night.
Yes.
But no, I say that because my first whip, sub $10,000. Didn't know how I was gonna make them payments, but I got the car anyway. Had manual windows, cloth seats, and you had, everything was just a sign of the times. Christopher got him a 2018. He got, a nice display, all the amenities, leather, and he drive it, like it's high horsepower. He be whipping that thing around. So I'm like, you go ahead and do your thing, man. I'm super proud of him. Every time I see the car, I'm like, man, my son bought that. And really, I was there and helped with the negotiation, but that was his money. That was his credit. He didn't do it with a cosigner. He didn't do it with anything else. And so ultimately proud. You're gonna watch this at some point if you're not watching it right now. But big ups, man. You make a preacher proud, you know what I'm saying? Just knowing that you handling your business and doing it like that. So just real proud of him.
That's what's up.
Example he's setting for his brothers, that this is how we roll and this is what you're gonna need to do. So looking forward to that. And while I'm on the note, we got producer P-Town in the house tonight. What's up, P-Town? You ain't gotta say nothing.
P-Town.
P-Town. And producer X, his birthday's tomorrow. So let me just say his birthday is this week because tomorrow's relative in the land of podcast.
Right.
This week. And so I'm looking forward to celebrating with him as well. It's fun having my 3 men in the house with me, man. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world.
I love hearing that, man. I love hearing that. And I'm glad that I asked.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I asked because it's a rites of passage for a lot of people to have your own ride, not have to be dependent on anyone else, and being able to say, hey man, let's roll, and be able to grab your keys, go out to that corner or that curb, jump in your ride, and be able to do that without looking over your shoulder, waiting for someone else another adult to come out and get you to where you want to go. So I'm glad that I mentioned it. Hey man, that gets me thinking about my trip to. I know we're at the end of our check-ins. That gets me thinking about my trip to the Men's Warehouse today.
Okay.
So I got this promotion at the job, and I was like, man, I could use another suit. So let me go ahead and go online, and I keep getting these ads about these suits. I found one in the price that I liked, and it arrived in November, but it didn't fit right. But because of COVID, I was just kind of waiting it out, but I didn't want to miss my 90-day window. Right. So I went in there today, and she said, oh, we could tailor it, but really the jacket is too big and the pants are too big. You should go ahead and find something that's here off the rack. Man, I was looking at those suits off the rack, and they were off the chain, man. The prices was like $200, $300 more than the suit that I bought. And my suit wasn't cheap, right? And so she said, well, you know what, we could do it, but you should probably get a refund and see if you find anything you like.
Right.
And I took that refund, grabbed me a dress sweater that I could wear professional casual, right? And I went stepping with the money in my pocket, man. I was up out of there, dude. I wasn't paying $400, $500 for a suit.
Now, do you own a $400 or $500 suit, or that's just not where you would go?
I do. I $300-$400 a suit, but I have like 3 suits. And I was just thinking, okay, I want to add one more to my collection because 3 suits over a couple years, right? And so style changes and color patterns changes and everything else. And the wear and the fit kind of changed as well. So I wanted to get something, I wanted to get an upgrade, but I didn't want to pay $300 for an upgrade. I'll go ahead and step into that conference room with the rest of them and be like, you know what, I make this thing look good.
Right. You don't need how much it costs.
But I got money in my pocket.
There it is. There it is. That weighs down the pockets and make them drape a little. So, no, I got a cat in the valley. He owns a spot in downtown LA, and then his extra inventory he takes to the valley. So when I need a suit, I just, whatever's in there, I tell him, and he'll get it in my size. He'll call me when it's ready, and then I got a spot up the street that tailors them up. So I don't think you need to have a closet full of $400 and $500 suits. I mean, you could find you a quality suit for a lot less than that. But you might want a decent, $400 or $500 suit if you just need to step out and you want it to be just right and popping. $400 or $500 for a suit is about right. And depending if you throw a brand name on that, you do a Hugo Boss, you might be paying $8. You do
right.
like Brooks Brothers, you might be paying $8. So or more, right? I mean, again, you could pay as much as you want for a suit. It depends on the label that's on the inside of it. And then you peel that label off and you see why they only spent $150 for the suit, because it's
right.
the thing you've been buying anyway. So no, I appreciate a good suit, man. I got probably 8 or 9
Wow.
that I can keep in rotation. I just, we're in COVID, so I don't even have an opportunity to wear them. Even if I say I'll just wear them to church, it ain't like I'm going to church, right? That's on screen. And at the church I go to, you ain't rocking suits, right? That's just not the flow there. The pastor's up there in some Dockers and a button down, right? So, you just kind of take your cues and go from there. So
yeah, I had to do my cost analysis, and I'm thinking, all right, man, even with the gig, I might wear a suit. If it wasn't COVID, I might wear a suit once or twice a month, but probably once.
Right.
Not sure if I need another suit when I already got 3. And suits come with all kind of stuff. I mean, you got your shirt, you got your handkerchief, I got a vest that I could throw on there. So those things really change the look as well. Anyways, man. That was my trip to the Men's Warehouse.
Well, while we're on clothing and talking about merchandise, I got a rep. You can see I'm wearing the contrast edition. It's contrast because it's black with gray accents. It says what you're listening to on it. It got the Big Brothers from the 818 logo on the back. So I've been rocking this today. At least after work, I was rocking this today.
Right.
Quite bold enough to wear a hoodie to work. That wouldn't work out so well for me. But yeah, I love these. I love being able to rep our merchandise and show it off, man. What you I know you got some stuff in.
Got some stuff, man. You put me on blast last week, man. You put me on blast.
You're wearing it. What you got
right.
on?
Well, I'm rocking something too. I don't know if I should just take it off, but maybe I won't take it off. But
okay, you got the hashtags, yeah.
I got the hashtags,
yeah.
right? And then I got the wife something. I got my cousin something. I got my niece something, and other family members were like, "Hey, send me something. Send me a sticker or something." I'm like, "I'll see what I could do."
My family members, for the most part, like, "Hey, send me something." I send them a link. Here it is. Go ahead and support. Um,
Right.
but I wanted to show you some love, man, because right after we launched it, you had the thought of, and I think you got it from somebody else, but you shared with me the thought of, what about the sisters that are from the 818 and so forth and so on. So we got some stuff up there specifically for the ladies, just so you guys know. Some of that is selling pretty heavy, man. I'm like, the ladies are buying that up. But also, I got some concepts I want to share with you through the week on some other stuff we can do that's really going to take advantage of cross platforming our logo um,
Okay.
and making it applicable so that someone from the 510 or from the 909 or from the 213
Yeah.
rep it without, as my son's girlfriend told me, looking like a poser. So
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel that. I'll rep the 818 all day because that's where I'm from. But if I wasn't, I might pull it out to show somebody, and somebody say, "Hey, what's that?" Oh, I'm supporting somebody else, but it wouldn't be part of my repertoire. So, I'm working on that, and so from the feedback, we hearing you, I'm hearing you, and we're working on that. So that's all.
That's interesting, man, because if I have 20, 30 t-shirts, printed t-shirts with stuff, right? Whether it's Nike or whether it is Obama and Martin Luther King, or if it's something else that's repping Leos and or Niners or Dodgers or whatever else, right? And so people will rep stuff, and that reminds me of the NWA stuff.
Right.
For a while, people were straight out of Compton, and then people were changing it straight out of whatever city they were repping. And so same concept, and I love it because people want to make it their own. Just as long as they don't, as they know where this hashtag came from. It
Right.
came from the brothers from the 818.
And that's what it is. You gotta put the design out there that's clearly us, but it's allowing for customization so that people can do their thing. And I respect that. So
Right.
we want to make that happen. So you'll be seeing that soon. We want to make sure we agree on what it looks like, and then we'll put it out there, and we'll rep a little bit ourselves, and we'll go from there. So, but yeah, man, checking in, all that's good. Week one, and I'm just gonna, hit this one quick. I was checking out my man Chris Rock again, and he was talking. It was a show he did in London, South Africa, and New York before Obama got elected the first time, and he was like Barack Obama, Barack Obama. So I've been running around all week talking about Kamala Harris, right? So I'm proud for all the young little Black girls out there just looking
Yes.
and seeing, that this promise is out there for them. And, so far she's been keeping it real because even, she loves her Chucks and she loves her pearls. And so I really was just loving that, women across the country, Black women especially, were really rocking their Chucks and pearls on Inauguration Day, man. Just, honoring I was going to say our first lady. She ain't our first lady, but our first female vice president, who also happens to be Black. So I thought that was just mad love. I can't think of a time in history where the vice president has gotten as much love as Kamala Harris has for this time frame.
Yeah, usually they're in the background. And they it's really not really seen that much. I don't know if she if there's a plan for her to be vocal. People expect her to be vocal because that's why the president chose her for that seat, because he trusted that she will be able to reach both sides and be able to defend his positions in a way that so that he wouldn't have to all the time. And
Right.
so I love that. By the way, speaking of Chucks and Pearls, my wife came down with some Chucks and Pearls, man. I was like, "What are you doing? You about to go to work?" And she says, Kamala is our vice president. I'm rocking these to work. I'm like, I don't know how well that's going to go over. She says, I'm rocking them anyway. So my wife pulled that off too. And she made me aware of the trend. I didn't know that was about Kamala, but our vice president. But I love to see how people are gravitating to her and what that would mean, as you stated, for those that are looking at her as an example or of what they could be in the future.
Right. You know what? I'm a segue. I got nothing to say on that. I disagree with. Not disagree. I just agree with you 100%. But what I want to say is, because you said Kamala and then you said our vice president, and we talked about this before because we were talking about Obama versus President Obama and so forth, and in respect to the title, and you talked about your military background and why that's important. For me, it's the ultimate level of respect that I see her as Kamala, right? And not because I normalize her, but because I see her as someone that would be just that comfortable to have a conversation with, and that I'm just comfortable having her in power. The same way I refer to, Barack, President Obama, as just Obama. And for me not to use president or vice president is no disrespect. It's the ultimate of respect, because I associate them with a person of the people, right? And for the people, versus, number 45, I didn't even like to say his name, let alone attach president to it, because he just wasn't presidential.
Right.
Right. And he was everything that I deplore about politics. He personified that. And so I just, one day this podcast might come out and Kamala, Vice President Harris, might see it. And I just wanted to know I got mad love and mad respect for you. But your first name is beautiful, and I speak it from complete admiration. So
yeah, I saw President Joe Biden try to kind of be chummy with one of the congressman or senator or somebody, and he said the person that he was talking to referred him to as President Biden, and President Biden said no, it's Joe, right?
right.
And the representative said no, it's President Biden, you've earned it, right? And so I don't think Joe would take any disrespect. I don't think President Biden would take any disrespect. Kamala wouldn't take any, Vice President Harris would take any disrespect, because that's what humility is about, right? If the title is what you're concerned about, then your focus is in the wrong area. You mentioned 45. The glaring differences for me, and I know that there's Trump supporters out there and maybe even Trump supporters that's watching us, but the glaring difference with 45 is even more evident now, because you see the current administration is doing things differently. They're having press conferences. They're answering questions. They are in dialogue with the citizens of this country that they represent. And it's different and it's refreshing to me. What else have you seen? What else have you seen within the last couple of days?
Well, I've seen he's been busy, right? As I expected him to be the first couple of days, overturning, undoing, making some changes. The United States rejoined the World Health Organization. I thought that was phenomenal. Right? It's one of the things that can skate under the radar, because, how many people really know what the World Health Organization is? But it's important. But what I really saw is that, one, I feel like there's some integrity coming back to the office, at least from intent, right? And I saw an action plan of, this is how we start to heal, right? And so I see that as just phenomenal. And, of course, he's going to take his hits, right? Because, right now he's still dealing with the fallout of the election, and those who support him. Those who don't, they don't. I saw one group, and I'm trying to think of who it was, and they basically said, now that you're in office, we're looking for you to be a man of action, right? Forget what you said. Now it's about what you do. And so I was like, wow, that's what I'm talking about, because he just got there. We got to give him a chance. We got to see what's going on. But we do expect action. You don't sit in the president's seat. And, there's the whole, let's see what happens in the first 100 days. Yeah, but 101 days is coming, and so is 102. And so is 365. And it's
Right.
not about those 100 days. It's about setting forth a plan of action to help heal the country, right? I had dinner with one of my partners at work, and we were talking about the problem is we in this country have turned disagreements into reasons to hate each other.
Wow. Yeah, that's powerful.
And it doesn't have to be that. We don't have to agree, right, to still finish a meal. We don't have to agree to work together. And our disagreements don't have to be the ban that's between us. It just doesn't. We can see things differently and still work together. And that, to me, is true bipartisanship, right? And yes, we have a 50-50 Senate, and it's Democrat controlled, but we still need a joint Senate so we can work together and get things done. Same with the House.
I love that, man. I love that. You got my juices flowing over here, man, because I was going to talk about Biden and Harris being very focused and intentional and being transparent. But I love the discussion, the thought about being able to disagree. And I'm gonna go there. I know you're a Raider fan. I'm gonna get away from the politics. We have Tom Brady, someone that is often despised by Raider fans. Been in the league for 21 years, going to his 10th Super Bowl. He's won 6. He's 40. He's older than me, right? So that's old. No, he's not older than me. No, he's. I'm actually. He's
podcast now. Wait a minute. Hold up.
No, he's 43, right? He's 43, so
Yeah.
He's not older than me yet. He'll never catch me, Dave. He'll never catch me. But I was having a conversation with a Raider fan that just did not want to acknowledge his, let's call it, greatness, right? And all right, I could take you serious if you just said I don't like him, right? But he has gone, he could even said I don't like him, but he's gone to 10 Super Bowls, so whatever, right? I would have received that. But to just deny his greatness, I can't really take you serious as a sports fan, because the man has more rings than anybody that's ever done it, right? And in such a short amount of time. I mean, I'm talking about 21 years, 10 Super Bowls. It's you couldn't even imagine it. You can't even script that, right? And so the reason why I bring him up is because I pushed him into a corner. My buddy that I was debating with, I pushed him into a corner, and then he started bringing up politics and Kaepernick, and he was holding Tom Brady again to some high standard against because he's a Republican and he voted for, or he was a supporter of 45. I said, man, there's a lot of people that voted for 45 in 2016. Right? People didn't know that 45 was going to turn out to be the lunatic president that he was, right? You knew it. But I said, there's Condoleezza Rice, there's Colin Powell, there's almost every military leader in our nation that are naturally born into Republican households, right? And there's 70 million Americans that voted for him. Some of them are white supremacists and far left, but there's still a large number of other Republicans that voted because red sticks with red, blue sticks with blue, right? I said, and so if you're going to hold Tom Brady to this standard, and we wasn't even talking we weren't talking politics, we were talking sports, but somehow politics got in there, and it was talking about Kaepernick. And you know my position on Kaepernick. Anyways, my point was 45 is out of the office. People voted for him for whatever. I can't imagine that people knew that that ride would turn out to be what it was. But when we debate, we need to be able to have a discussion and be able to disagree.
Yeah.
We need to be able to make our points and allow and accept them as they lay, just as long as we could be respectful and kind of just say, well, we have a difference of opinion. What's your thoughts?
Man, you said a lot. So let me just say this. I am a Raider fan till I die. I'm a football fan through and through. My favorite team is the Raiders. Anybody playing the 49ers and the Patriots, as long as the Patriots were just last, because as a Raider fan, I have to hate the Patriots, which was cool. Now that Tom Brady's not part of the Patriots, I'm a football fan. And more than anything, I appreciate talent on the football field, and I recognize it no matter who it is. I was watching a YouTube video of this cat that was 4'5" and running fools over. I'm like, I don't know how humanly that's possible at a college level, but he was doing it. I was like, man, those are some good looking clips. And I'd never even heard of the cat, but I appreciate the talent. Tom Brady is the greatest that's ever done it. And anyone who can't say that, I don't want to have the conversation with you. You don't have to like him, his politics aside, and even through his politics. I'm not going to not enjoy the football player that he is because he also happens to be a Republican who voted for Trump 4 years ago. So I got mad love for Tom Brady, to the point that, if I was going to put some money, I would put some money on the Buccaneers to win the Super Bowl over the Chiefs. One, because as much as I like Mahomes and that he's growing into his role as a leader and he's extremely talented, he still plays to the ability of his opponent that he thinks he needs to. When he gets out there and just plays his game, then we'll see. People will even want to compare him to Tom Brady. I'm like, slow down. I mean, I'm not saying he's not a great football player. I'm not, but slow down. Tom Brady is Tom Brady for a reason, and I got mad love for him. And anybody that's 43 years old doing the things that he do, if you can't show him that respect, then that's not a conversation I want to have with you. Pearls before swine, man. I'm not even gonna go there. Now, as far as the political aspect of it, we've had the Kaepernick conversation and what that looks like and so forth. My general thought is anybody, especially white and super wealthy and business owner or property and so forth and so on, that identified as Republican, especially, they were voting Trump, right? And if you think back, and we're going to be honest about it, Hillary gave us enough reasons to really question her ability to run the country. Now, was that enough to make me say I'm gonna vote for Trump? Nah, I was like, if those are my last two, I'm gonna throw my vote at Hillary. But it wasn't because she was the best choice, it's because she was a better choice than him, right? And so that's just being the real of it. But yeah, 4 years ago, I don't think people would have known the craziness that would exist at the full level that it did. But to know that he was just a wild card, bad candidate, and I really fear for what's going to happen in this country. Yeah, I felt that November 2016, and when I went to bed knowing he had won, I woke up and was like, well, we're still here. So let's get started. Let's see what these next 4 years are going to be. And I buckled down. I made sure I filed my taxes on time. I made sure that I tuned into the political climate so I would be aware of what's going on. I didn't want to be caught blindsided. As shocking as the events that transpired on January 6th were, I wasn't surprised by them. And to me, it was just, you go down the rabbit hole and you see things that are darker and darker. Don't be shocked when the lights go out. So that's the way I look at that.
I got one last comment regarding this, man. Because I want to get like the politics, but there's always going to be politics in it. But I don't want to hold every Republican hostage and put like, I'll hold the ones that voted for him in 2020, right, hostage, like, what were you thinking, boy? Right. But not the ones in 2016, because if you were born in a Republican household, you're probably going to grow up as a Republican, and you're probably going to vote Republican the rest of your life, right? And there's a lot of Fortune 500, there's a lot of millionaires, billionaires, there's a lot of Wall Street cats that are Republicans. And if you're going to hold Tom Brady or anyone else, my neighbor down the street, right, responsible for voting for Donald Trump in 2016, then you need to hold everybody responsible. But what happens if Biden starts wilding out, right? And then it's reflective of me because I voted for Biden, right? Or the argument that I was having. Come on, let's be realistic. Let's get back to a place where we can have this adult, respectable, respectful argument and discussion, a debate that will allow us to walk away from that conversation better than it was when we started.
And that's the goal. That's what we've been missing the last 4 years. We've been forced into one corner or the other. The country has become divisive. I am trusting this current administration to be leaders and leading us as American citizens and blending that divide. We don't have to agree. We don't even have to see eye to eye, but we realize that we're all Americans and we don't have to be against each other because of a political party that won in office, right? President Joe Biden is not a Democratic president. He is the president of the United States who happens to be the leader of the Democratic Party.
Right.
Right. So
I got two questions for you before we start wrapping things up, man. The vaccine. Let's talk about that real quick. I'm planning on getting vaccinated first week of February. How about you?
I won't say I'm definitely getting vaccinated. I'm sure I am. I'm in no rush to it. I feel like I'm, guarding myself and protecting my family fairly well. Out here, we have a series of tiers, and that tier, well, you're where I am. The tiers are still with people over the age of 65, I think.
Ain't you 65 yet?
64. They still are a series of frontline workers. And then I know it's going to move into education and so forth. And so when my number comes up, I think I'll be in a better position to be ready for it. I'm not in a rush. And I'm happy for that because as much as I see it as a probably necessary tool, I want to see it's new. And I know a lot of people are getting vaccinated. And I think the results of some of that are going to come pouring in slowly as we start to see what's going on. I'm not worried about, I'm not over glamorizing it by, what's going to happen. Are people going to be zombies and so forth? And, I don't play into the rhetoric of it all. The other thing, though, someone mentioned to me today, well, what about all the news reports that, says it was rushed and this, that, and the other? And so I told him like this. I was like, it's like a zip file, right? If you got a file that's 100 megs, you can zip it up and it's really only 15 megs. You got rid of, 85% of it is just free space. I was like, vaccines and things like that take a long time because there's no rush to get it done, right? We want to vaccinate you for this, but in the meantime, there's a medicine. It's not killing anybody. We can take our time. We can work 8-hour days and we can get it done. And this is a 2-year process. Well, COVID's killing people. And, we've lost millions of lives and people are sick and so forth and so on. I don't even know where the numbers are. I lost count, but they had to speed up some processes. And, the way my best understanding of it, and someone could fact check me and say, you have a complete misunderstanding, but my best understanding is there's multiple pharmaceutical companies that are pushing it out that are starting with a base and basically putting their twist on it. And they're saying that this is what is going to give you a higher level of protection from catching the COVID-19 virus. I respect that. So I'm not concerned along that level. I just want to see what happens first, and then I'll get in line.
I'm loving that, man. I'm loving that. I'm a tier 1 recipient, so, and I could have received it already, but
how's that?
I'm tier 1, man. Hey, don't hate on me, man. Don't hate on me.
How'd you get tier 1? Is it military? Is it because of the job you're in? How'd you get tier 1?
Because I'm my job, man.
Yeah. I
You
ain't
sound like you're a little salty right now. You sound like a little salty. But just like you, just like you, I'm not rushing. I'm not rushing. I could have got mine already. I'm gonna wait another week or so. But I'm not. I'm not fearful either. The number of shots that I've got being in the military,
right.
this is nothing, man. I can take this, brother. And you've been to Africa, so you've had some shots in you already as well. I'm loving this conversation because we talked about politics, we talked about some sports, we talked about the vaccine, we're talking about the stuff that is really important. And so I got another question for you. If I asked you, what is a life hack that you could share with our audience that will simplify the way that they live, the way that they go about their day, what would you share? What would you say?
Man, I don't know. I feel like a little put on the spot for that. I'll give you one of my life hacks and maybe it'll show somebody else. And here it is. And I'm gonna look you in the eye when I say it. I don't loan money to anyone, right? If you came to me today and said, Dave, I need $100 and I got $100 and it's in my abundance, I'll give it to you, right? Be like, here you go. And when it passes from my hand to yours, that is your money. Now, if you're a man of integrity, if the situation calls for itself, you're like, oh man, I'm gonna get you back on Tuesday. And yeah, you should do what you can do to get me that money back. But because I put it from my hand to yours, I released it. Now, why is that a life hack? It's because I don't ever want the stress of wondering when somebody's gonna pay me back. And it ain't because I'm balling, but it's because, you know, if you need something from me and I can give it to you, I'm obviously giving it out of my abundance. I'm not stupid enough to give it to you out of my need because I need it, right? But if I'm giving it to you out of my abundance, then I would rather release it and go on about my day. And if you ever hit me back, you just do. And people are gonna hear that and be like, I'm about to hit Dave up for some money. All right, you know, try it and see what happens. But you know, the point of it is I refuse to be held in bondage with someone over financial reasons. So that's my way of just greasing through life, man, and not having to have that stress.
Hey man, I'm loving that, man. I mean, you know, you've given me a life hack that I'll share my life hack, but you've already given me a life hack besides this one that you just shared that I use still today.
Okay.
Like, you don't wait on hold.
We have a lot of talk.
If we're talking on the phone and I get another call and I say, hey Dave, give me a second, I got another call. Wait, how many seconds you giving me? 15,
15, 20? Yeah. 15,
right.
20, yep.
Right. They can call you, I could call you back, right?
Yep.
Brilliant. Instead of just waiting there and like, man, when are they gonna call me back?
Yep.
They can call you back.
Ain't no either. None.
Right. This ain't the pay phone where you putting quarters in and right. And you know, I'm gonna lose my quarters, man. But my life hack, I love both of those. You don't loan money. You give it away, depending on the need. Because I'm not just gonna say, hey Dave, I need $100. You'd be like, oh, here's $100, right? And that phone hack, I love that. Don't be on hold for more than 15, 20 seconds.
Got other stuff.
My hack would be, I really don't concern myself with other people's gossip and drama and the Joneses. I don't be looking over people's fence. I don't be trying to be like anybody else, right? If there's some gossip or some drama, I'm not really concerned about it. Does it involve me? And if it doesn't involve me, I'm not concerned about it. I think just like you try to keep your life simple with that money. I try to keep my life simple with the drama.
I hear that, man. I've been known to ruin someone's day. Be like, ooh, let me tell you about so and so. I'd be like, I'm good. Oh, but you'll like this story. I'm truly good. I don't want to get involved in other people's drama. I'm thankful. Part of my prayers on the daily is that my girl has no drama in her, and me and her just kind of get along and vibe. And we got our challenges like any other couple, but it ain't because of drama. Right. It's just, we just keep it real with each other, and she speaks her mind, I speak mine, and we love each other. So it just works out. But my relationships with everybody, I'm like, look, let's just play down the middle. We don't have to be all dramatic. It doesn't have to trip out. And for sure, the Joneses, I'm like, you know, I like what I like, and it's because I like it. For sure, ain't trying to keep up with nobody. right? And people will see me and be like, ooh, I want something like that. And I'll be like, start praying, save your money, get your credit up, do what you got to do, and you can get that too. But I don't even have what I have, so I can be the Joneses. I just enjoy what I enjoy, and that's just the way that goes. So we're gonna have to dig deeper into that one. I think we should just maybe not this week coming up, but the next one we'll just do a series on life hacks. You come up with a list, I'll come up with a list. And we're gonna talk about it before. We just gonna say, how about this one, right?
Okay, let's do it.
So, never mind. I'll save it. I'll save it. Life hacks. We can do that. So we got a couple minutes left. Here's what I want to throw at you. So, we always close this out with what you're listening to. Instead of asking you this time, I'm gonna tell you something, right? And that's want to hear your thoughts. So the other day, maybe a week ago, right? Yeah, it was last Wednesday. It was Inauguration Day. I was walking through my office, and one of my staff, I overheard him say, hey, Rolling Stone, the magazine, just put out the list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. And I was like, according to who? Right? Because I'm looking at, he don't look like me, and nobody else in the office looks like me, and so forth. And my list of the greatest albums all the time is going to be different from your list. And me and you grew up together, right? So according to who? And he was like, Rolling Stone magazine. I was like, yeah, I don't know. He's like, it's 500 albums, yeah, right?
The authority.
Like
Rolling Stones, the authority.
Exactly. So I was like, even Billboard separates their list. I was like, but okay, it might be interesting to take a look. So, we might as well, I'm gonna contact Spotify and see if they can give us some sponsorship money, because I talk about them all the time. But I went to Spotify and I looked it up, and sure enough, they got the playlist. So
Wow.
I pressed play. And so I'm on like album 13. That's all I'm listening to, this list, right? And it's in order. It started with the Beach Boys. It started with Marvin Gaye, went to the Beach Boys. And I don't know if this is starting at 1 or 500 or just the list together. But Marvin Gaye, the Beach Boys, Nirvana. I never listened to Nirvana in my life. The Clash, the Beatles, Joni Mitchell, loved that album, right? Didn't even realize I loved it until I listened to it. P.E. Takes a Nation of Millions. That one came on today. Bruce Springsteen, Aretha Franklin, Prince, the When Doves Cry album. And I'm just getting started. But I'm like, this is amazing, because I refuse to fast forward. I refuse to skip. Right? So whatever I'm listening to, whatever is playing is what I'm going to listen to. And a couple things are happening. One, it's spreading. I'm starting to spread and stretch and hear some things that I hadn't heard before, and starting to put some names and artists to songs that I had heard before and appreciated, but didn't know where they came from. I was like, really, that's them? And so forth and so on. And I don't know how long it's going to take to get through 500 albums, but that's what I'm doing. And I find it amazing, man. So that's what I'm listening to. What do you think about that?
Hey man, I'm glad that you mentioned it, because I didn't know about it. I'm going to try it, and I'm going to try to find it. It sounds like I'll be able to find it pretty easy. I was going to, when you first mentioned it, I wasn't sure if you were listening to the entire albums, or if it was like like a song that they identified as the top 500, because the entire album, man, you'll be listening to it for the rest of the year, this list, and before you get tired of it. I don't know if you're going to be able to continue to listen to the entire list, because you're going to get some country. You're going to get my boy Johnny Cash on there. You can get my boy George Strait on there, right? And you're going to have to listen to it. Someone that I know is going to be on there, one of the greatest albums of all time, is Alanis Morissette album, right?
I like
That's going to be on there. It needs to be on there. If it's not on there, I wonder if they're going to eliminate scandalous people like R. Kelly, because R. Kelly got some banging albums, but we know that he's had some problems, right? You didn't mention, I know you were going down Marvin Gaye, Beach Boys, Nirvana, Beatles, P.E. You're going down that list. I wonder where Michael Jackson going to fall on that album, and what order is the album, right? And so it'll be interesting. I'm going to check it out. I'm really interested in it. I'm really interested to hear whether or not, or see whether or not you listen to some of the metal albums. Maybe there should be some metal on there. Red Hot Chili Peppers should be on there too. You're going to listen to some country, boy, and I can't wait to hear you talk about A Boy Named Sue. I can't wait to hear you. So thanks for sharing that, man.
So that's what's up, y'all. Y'all can catch us everywhere. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We love that our fan base is growing. We're almost up at 200 friends on Facebook. Thank you guys for that, for joining this journey with us. We got to start somewhere, and we've definitely gotten started. Season 2, episode 4. We've been committed, man, but you know, to be almost at 40 episodes, patting you on the back too. That's for you. You know, pop your collar a little bit. So y'all can catch us everywhere. You know that we're streaming on all the popular music channels and even some that aren't so popular. But we're out here. We're out here making, letting our comments and thoughts be known in this format, and we're here for you. We look forward to hanging out with y'all again. And until our screens and paths cross paths again, brothers from the 818, we are out. Peace.
Peace. Get yourself some merch.
Get yourself some merch.
You are down with
The brothers from the 818.